The imbalance. Moving forward. My wife and I have been together for 6 years, married for almost 2 years. I have 3 lovely kids, 11, 13, 15, from a previous marriage, and I pretty much have full custody of the children. My first marriage ended after 15 years when I discovered my ex in the act of cheating with a good friend of mine. I was humiliated. After some time alone, I meet my current wife and romance blossomed. Eventually she proposed to me and I said yes, happiest day of my life. She treats all 3 children beautifully and loves them very much. They also treat her like a mother. The relationship she has with them is wonderful. All the way through the transition from my first marriage to this one, I have attended therapy to deal with my insecurities, which were mainly driven by my childhood and primarily the infidelity of the first marriage. There has never been any infidelity in my current marriage from either of us. Initially, my wife knew I was insecure and was understanding of my doubts, my need to ask her about texts and/or people, etc. This became much worse for me in the last few months. Early this year, I lost a close family member and it sent me into a spin of insecurity, and just prior to this, my wife won a new job. She started making new friends and spending long days at work, losing weight, becoming less intimate, and generally withdrawing from me. I came to understand that across the course of our relationship that I had eroded the trust by checking her phone, iPad, emails, etc. It came to a head 3 months ago and I checked for the last time, and as a result we ended up at therapist who I had been seeing about dealing with the death of my close family member. The therapist suggested a 3-month separation. We both agreed. We are now coming to the end of that, and during that time I have done a great deal of work on myself with my therapist, and I am learning a great deal about why I am so insecure and vulnerable. I have written to my wife and delivered heartfelt and meaningful support directed and assisted by my therapist. Not pathetic begging to come back, more of an update about my progress and my hopes for a future for our family. A great deal of this has been poorly received and she does not believe I have been working hard and learning, which more than anything is tragic. I am due for a session with her now after the period, and it appears our separation will continue based on our interactions. She still sees the children and attends things with me, communicates with me. I understand that I have lost a great deal of her trust and she is hurt and angry over my checking. I have truly owned that behavior with her and accepted that violation. She thanked me for doing that. She said, "I love you, but I am not sure I can ever get past this. Things will never be the same." I told her that she was right to feel that way and things would not be the same. They would be different and with work would be better. My progress is coming along well and I feel empowered and ready. She isn't seeing the therapist regularly. I think she will move to seeing therapist more regularly after our next appointment. She trusts her immensely as she has worked with her in the past but is open to it. She has undertaken to take care of the children into the new year, attend medical appointments, help me to care when required. I know she hasn't written us off but is so angry and hurt still. My therapist feels that the anger, hurt, and loss of trust is the block, but is definitely repairable. I'm consistent in my support and responses to her. I'm available and considerate. She sees that I am surviving without her ATM. She does see me improving and coping okay. I have accepted that she needs more time. My therapist feels I have made superb progress and my need to check on her is gone even when triggers hit. I have the tools and understand where some of those feelings come from and I am managing them well. My therapist feels that I must just hold myself and continue of this path of self-improvement, understanding I am a great father and husband and that I am worthy of good things. I have started believing this and my life is so positive, but having my beautiful wife back is what I would like. One day she is great and the next she is distant and non-responsive. During this time, she always stays in touch with the kids. Family is supporting us both. I know at early days and time is needed and more work and consistency need to be seen by her. I never react to her anger other than to accept and acknowledge it. I love her and don't want to lose her. Is there anything else that I could be doing other than continuing my work on myself, with my therapist, and being patient, available and caring? I am accepting the marriage may be over and will continue working to be a better man for myself and my children. Communication is occurring but understandably she's guarded. I will take your advice. I have truly felt the pain I have caused, which was part of my therapy. My load is getting lighter, but it's up and down, which is to be expected. I have also learned that life will go on either with or without my wife, hopefully with, but I know I will be okay in the end no matter what. Thank you for your kind words. I don't know you, but that simple comment has given additional faith to continue on the long road I'm taking. It's been a long road of learning for me and more learning and understanding to be had. Your comments have really helped. At the moment it is the ups and downs of my wife's behavior that are hard. I know it's normal and I always remain consistent, acting with kindness and understanding. No covert contracts for me ever again. Easier said than done sometimes. I'm a people pleaser. I am learning that I must be truthful and ask for what I deserve. I am worthy and a good person. Thanks again. I am very hopeful for my future no matter what happened and no matter what hurdles I have to tackle. I'll be in a much better position to engage in life as a result of this process. My wife is a senior manager in her role and is very much an alpha female in every way known. Her father was in Navy and she lived a very regimented, authoritarian type of childhood. I run our day-to-day, but she has had a large say in decisions around big issues and is very firm in her views at times. All that said, she quite often masks what I believe are deep-seated insecurity with this outward show of power. Don't get me wrong, she softens with me and generally is loving, but sometimes her manager persona comes out in our day-to-day. She has high expectations of herself, always busy and always more to do. I'm kind of the opposite, love golf, yoga, dinners, cafes, and just generally being with people and family. My therapist believed I was passive-aggressive as opposed to assertive. I'm learning more about how to be more assertive when appropriate. I'm getting much better at it. My therapist also believes that I must stop making decisions in my day-to-day by measuring those decisions against what my wife would expect and how she will react. Obviously, major life decisions are always consulted and negotiated. I purchased a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy. It seems like I have to start being more the alpha male, and part of my therapy is teaching how to do that with my alpha female wife. Not sure if I'm making sense, but I guess what I am saying is at some point I stopped having my say and just allowed my wife to manage me. That has to stop. I am really interested on your perspective, not sure if I'm confusing what you are saying. Out of interest, I am also a manager but at a lower level than my wife, yet I earn a little more than her and do a little less. I love my job. She struggles with hers but seems to like the challenge. While tomorrow is my first MC session since we broke up, I've been doing IC. I've been thinking a lot about it, playing it out in my mind. What am I going to say and so on. Feel like crap and really scared about it, been worried. I won't be begging or anything like that, but I do really miss my her and I do want her back and my wife. I guess my anxiety is normal. I kept myself busy but that only has limited success. I know I'm overthinking it. No matter what, I intend to keep up with my IC. Tough afternoon basically told me trust was completely lost and wanted to work towards divorce. Meet and discussed issues around settlement after session. Didn't resolve a lot. Therapist said on phone to me afterwards that she hasn't processed anger and resentment. Also said that I must not be her pillar or offer any additional support to her as that would make things worse. She said to leave it to her and she would work on her trust issues. In the meantime, I have to start thinking about separation of assets, etc. She hugged me and told me she loved me and she cried. I didn't say a lot other than say I loved her too and say it not what I wanted. Also, she said she felt I had all the support and had no one. Feel sick and panicked about it. My brother and his family are here for me. I asked therapist on phone if she believed there was any hope. She said I won't answer that other than to say leave your wife to me and you look after yourself. Whatever that means. She is open to therapy now and does need it. I am booked in next week with her. I'm a bit messed up at present and words of support would go a long way. Staying strong for kids though. The current feelings of fear and panic are quite strong. They come and go. Part of me feels out of control and a part of me tells me to stay in control. I'm exhausted and need to sleep but worried about panic. Is it okay for a couple of nights just to take something to help me get to sleep and stay asleep? We have a med here in Australia which works for me in getting me drowsy enough to sleep, usually gives me 6 hours. Is what I am feeling normal? Should I be stronger at the moment? Will it get easier? I must admit I remember how I felt when my first marriage ended and parts of this are worse and other parts seems easier to manage. Feeling better today. Trying to just get through each day. Back to work tomorrow. People are finding out slowly. I have a fear of humiliation, but I have learned where that has come from and can sort of process that. Okay. I have a few very close friends that have been checking in on me, which makes me feel loved. In 2015, my first marriage separation. Divorce was much harder than this, but I have blocked it out according to my brother. He witnessed that too. I guess I got through that okay, so there is no reason I won't get through this. Trying to deal with practical stuff at the moment, but it's slow. Still in shock and a degree of disbelief. Anyway, off for the next day on this ride. Home alone with kids. My daughter gets braces this Friday and my wife, stepmom, is taking her. So, we have agreed to have a dinner with wife and mother-in-law tomorrow here. Might be tough night tomorrow. Mother-in-law is angry and shocked and seems to be taking my side. I haven't really given her anything, stuck by the 180, not asking for anything other than provided superficial communication. Mother-in-law texted today checking if I was okay and aid. She cares about both of us. Also, basic response. Wife has told me that her mom has been giving her major grief. Today I started the ball rolling hard email to wife about proposed separation of assets. She hasn't responded but knows it's coming. I spoke with her today, so messed up and paranoid on phone. Nothing I can do, but it's sad to hear her like that. But that's now her battle now. She has agreed to stay in the family home on the 13th divided by the 14th of November to stay with kids as I have to work in city and stay the night. Even through this last couple of days her communication with kids is every day. The kids don't know yet. I'm not ready to tell them until practical living arrangements, if I can keep family home or close to, ironed out. Wife agreed, as did therapist. I think they have an inkling, but I know they'll be okay. I know there is so much water to go under this bridge in Australia. You must be separated legally for 12 months before you can apply for a divorce. It's been almost 3. So, we have agreed my wife will rent a place. She is living at her mom's but can't do that long term. I do understand, her mom would be drilling her to go home to her family. probably not great all round. Her own space might actually allow her the time and space she needs to process her feelings and get the help she needs. In the meantime, I've been separated for a while and was fine with the hope for reconciliation, since finding out she has decided it's over my emotion. It's like the work I did with my therapist was reminded and I regressed. Typing on here seems to be one thing that helps. It truly is group therapy with like-minded people going through similar struggles, and that helps. So, after yet another waffle, stressed about dinner tomorrow with children and mother-in-law, stressed about wife taking daughter to braces appointment Friday, healing separation has turned into straightforward divorce, straight into property settlements and splitting of assets. Pretty messed up, but have to keep going. Stressing about money will be tight with kids, but we will survive one way or the other. Looks like I will have to sell family home next year and get something smaller, but I'm okay with that. Pretty anxious, and contact with wife sets me off even if she is being reasonable. Trying hard to hold it together. Today was a good day at work, but got email this afternoon and set me off. Nothing sinister in it, just contact. I'm probably struggling to detach emotionally, observing and living 180, but when contact happens, I feel anxious. Wife took daughter to have braces fitted today, waited at home till I finished work. Text asking a lot of questions about daughter, then said my head is all over the place at the moment. Whatever that meant, I sort of ignored it and answered the other part of the text about daughter. Got home and she stayed for around 2 hours. Very odd, wanted to interact, tell me about her day and work. It was okay. I was somewhat detached but listening. Very focused on herself, and her behavior and attitude seemed to be the same. Sort of hard, as I felt like if she wanted to come back that I wouldn't want her back like that. Felt bad thinking that and didn't offer help at all. Felt really weird not to, but somewhat empowering. I don't like seeing her struggle like she is, but that's her journey now, not mine. Last 48 hours for me have been great, feeling less anxious and more self-assured that I will be okay no matter what. My 99 over the last 6 months is largely responsible for that. Thank God I did that and continue to do it. Haven't told kids as yet, but that will happen soon enough. It's weird because I look at her and still want her physically, but that's all. Me 42, her 33. She doesn't want them, her choice. No regrets re not having kids. She loves mine like a mother. She wants regular visitation during separation and or divorce, agreed to in short term. Best for kids is partially up to them. Not best for me if we are divorced for her to see them. Ex-wife 1 doesn't know yet and won't for a bit. They don't really get on, and for that matter nor do I and ex-wife 1. Interesting assertion, re-family instead of a guy. She's in love with her work but hates it. I've established she's playing the victim and very much a perfectionist. OCD, narcissist with a dash of bipolar. Buggered if I know really, but in her current state I don't want her other than physically. I guess that will pass in time. Still confused but getting on with my journey in life. Life goes on, and if she doesn't want to come along for the ride with me, that's on her, not me. She is clear on what I want. This stage it's progressing along with settlement of asset. I guess the hard thing is that emotional detachment. She still, even in our interactions now, tries to dictate what I should and shouldn't be doing. In little ways, it's a habit and I don't take it personally, but it certainly highlights that she isn't or hasn't done what she needs to do for herself. That aside, as hard as this is, I have no real choice now but to emotionally detach. A lot of people talk about infidelity with her, but funnily enough I just tell them that that thinking only serves to torment me, so I won't go there. That behavior would be on her, not on me. I'm a good man with great values, and what does this process go on? I'm starting to realize that no one wins in this, but certainly for me choosing to learn is imperative. Learning about myself and what I want and deserve. In all of this I do still feel sad for her as well. Been a busy weekend now, spending day just relaxing, watching TV with kids and generally having lazy day at home. Toughest day in last week. Time alone to think is always hardest. Not terrible, but little bit of emotion creeping in. Pretty hard day, just want to cry all the time, but kids are around so can't right now. Maybe later tonight just to get it out. I guess I have to get used to it and suck it up. Worried about breaking it to kids, but it will be okay too. Done it before with them when they were younger. Not easy, but they are resilient. Will likely tell them in the next week or two. Need to be a bit stronger. Wife pushing to do it sooner rather than later. Not her choice at this stage. Very productive day, discussed finances and her moving into her apartment. Didn't fix anything, believe me. Was very amicable. It felt good to stand up for myself in an assertive way. Not passive and not aggressive, just stating the truth and what I wanted. I've tackled some massive things and have so many good people supporting me through this. She asked when I wanted to discuss Christmas with kids. I just said now is okay. I'm happy for you and your family to see the kids and spend time with them, but that will have to be around our plans. I will let you know what they are. She asked some questions. She hasn't told her grandparents, who love me and kids and want lunch with us in Christmas Day. I also said, I don't want to spend Christmas with you guys and have to pretend. I won't be doing that. It's unhealthy for all involved. She actually accepted it, then said that her mother was crying every day about kids, our breakup and Christmas. I said, I'm sorry to hear your mom is upset, but this is the way it is now. She can certainly see them, but you and your family will have to fit around us. I told a mutual work colleague about us and she asked me how she knew. I told her that I told her and she asked what I'd told her. I said the truth. She said, "It's no one's business, you should just not tell them why." I said, "I have no issue telling people the truth if it's appropriate. I'm not broadcasting it. But I simply don't care what people think, I care what I think." She hadn't heard that person before. Anyway, went on for a little bit, resolved a great deal and was quite amicable. She is ashamed, humiliated and embarrassed. Guess what? So am I, but that's life, and it's liberating when people support me even when the truth is out. People actually like me for who I am without her around. My close workmate asked me today a difficult question. If you were in deep despair and having a really down day and she walked in and said she wanted you back, would you consider it? My answer after some thought, no, because I deserve so much more than that. She's no longer the person I feel in love with. I realized today when talking to our receptionist at lunch about kids and what's happening. I made some random comment about protecting my children and being the role model they want to be. I want them to idolize me, to want to be like me. Her response, "I'm so proud of you, your attitude and self-belief in this adversity is absolutely inspiring." That nearly brought me to tears. I thanked her. My mindset is changing, life is improving, it's up and down, and I'm sure I will experience more setbacks and adversity. In all of this, I'm a single dad bringing up 3 kids and who thankfully are excelling in school and are, in my view, developing into very well-balanced human beings. I've got a lot to be proud of. Heck, I'm proud of myself. Still learning with therapy. Session tomorrow. I think my therapist will expect me to be doing well. It's only been a week since the hammer feel, a long way to go, but things are slowly looking up. My wife texted me last night saying that she was uneasy about our discussions yesterday, as she felt I was dictating to her what she had to do. I certainly wasn't. She hadn't experienced the assertive, honest me asking for what I deserve, that has likely challenged her in some way. I didn't make it okay. I just told her that I was making sensible choices that would help the kids and me and in turn would help her. How she interpreted it was up to her. She left it alone from there. I figure she is likely feeling she doesn't have the control she had previously had. I was not an a-hole, just truthful and assertive. It certainly doesn't concern me as I'm the focus, but affirmed in some way that I'm on the right track. It was good for me. Not sure if that makes sense, but made me feel better that I was taking my life back. She also has kept contacting me about people knowing and various other things. I have said up front, I respect her need for privacy, but I simply am not bothered. Who knows? Is that bad? We work for the same company, different locations, division. I'm very well regarded within the company and I am perceived as very influential, as I have a direct line to the top. They are old mates of mine. I have told her that it's my business. She said, have I bad-mouthed her? I said, I won't grace that with a response other than to say that it's not my style. She said, I know it's not. She also keeps saying she has done nothing wrong. I guess I might have to start setting some more defined boundaries around this. We'll speak with therapist about best way to deliver this message. Part of my problem, being a nice guy. 180 works for everyone and is working for me. I'm detaching from my wife now like you are from your husband. I'm starting to let go. The issue I face is the continual need for contact, but I'm setting some very defined boundaries. My therapist said I just needed to be mindful and be careful not to become angry and remain assertive. She also said not to be a victim. This is done by setting clear boundaries, and 180 is part of that as well. Thankfully, detaching from her is becoming much easier for me as her behavior over the past couple of months has highlighted to me that I deserve so much more. I have witnessed some traits in her that I certainly no longer want to be around. Sometimes I find myself angry with her decision to not try and save us, her bailing out. Then wanting me to be there for her. It's frustrating at times, but I'm seeing and witnessing her behavior. It's almost automatic for her. My therapist said that she has not accepted responsibility in this and she has a great deal to own, so she will have bottled up anger which will manifest in bad behavior towards me. Therapist said deep down she doesn't want this but knows nothing else. It's what she does. The scary thing for me is I understand her better than she understands herself. Not my job to worry about it though, just helpful to know so I can manage. Tonight, I am working in the city and staying in hotel for work. Rare for me as I work mainly during the day office hours around a kid's schooling. She has agreed to stay in the family home and care for the kids. I won't see her and it was per-arranged. Kids go to school the following morning and she goes to work, so we don't cross paths, which is good. I won't be calling on her again like this. It's kind of nice for the kids and they will like it. For all her failings, she loves the kids and is good to them. This says she is coming around when kids are with their mother for 2 days to pack up her clothes and some smaller items. People taking some of the furniture for her apartment the following weekend. She signed a 6-month lease. This weekend will be tough for me. I won't be helping or staying while she packs. I'll be spending a bit of time just agreeing to what she can take but not hanging around too long. I will go out for the day. She is very much in the process of attention seeking. Yesterday contacted me several times, and the final time was to let me know she was going to physiotherapist as she had stuffed her neck and needed to use our joint credit card to pay. The old me would have thought to ask if she was okay. Oops, I just said that's fine. She's struggling with this, I can see it. The more I pull away and become less available, the more she seems to try. It's over now. Not enjoying our interactions and not looking forward to her coming over here so to get her stuff. That will be tough on me. I will definitely hold it together. Her playing the victim, attention-seeking, non-commitment to family, and her non-commitment to me has caused this to end. I'm still sad for her and in some way want to shake her and say wake the hell up. She has surrounded herself with like-minded people, damaged people that listen to her tales of woe. They give her the time of day and feed her behavior. She has distanced herself from her own family and anyone that doesn't tell her what she wants to hear. I have been replaced one way or another, but she seems to like to try it on with me. Probably automatic as I was the fixer. I don't entertain it. Had a little setback today. Garage full of packed boxes set me off and I had a cry. Felt okay afterwards. Wrote it in my journal and it'll be okay. The sooner she gets her stuff out the better, over her putrid weak behavior, but that will pass. Not looking at her clothes and alike will be great as it will me allow the kids and me to start making the house our own. She kept stating and repeating the 6-month lease tonight. My gut tells me that she is trying to plan B me if whatever she is up to doesn't suit her or work out. Sad news for her is that I am nobody's plan B anymore. I'm at the point that even if she begged me now that I would not allow her back into my life. Sounds harsh as this was a woman I loved, but I can say now that I find myself not even liking her. Only issue now is unnecessary contact by text on office chat, phone. Not being available at all, 180 all the way. Problem is that seems to drive her need to contact me. Anyway, managing okay with it at the moment and pulling her up when required. Selfish and attention-seeking. Next weekend will be okay as spoken to kids now about furniture. And they are 100% fine, even excited. Quite surprising really. I'm actually excited. We will be upbeat and happy to get on with our lives. STBX continues to initiate contact, most of which is unnecessary, into her upcoming move to her apartment. I've been detaching, but she continues to push the limits. She moves this set from her mother's into her new rental apartment. All her things will be gone at this point. She is very, very needy, but I have maintained a distance. I am waiting until she moves in a couple of days to see if her unnecessary contact drops off. If not, she will be getting an email reminding her of the boundaries we had agreed upon. In essence, she texts every day about generic things that are non-urgent. Agreed communication method is email. I will be driving that home in the next few days. She actually made a comment that I was communicating with her like I do with my first ex-wife. Hello, you decided to leave. You are the STBX number 2. She doesn't cope without me being the fixer or available. This contact has caused me some anxiety, not because I hold out hope, but I feel like it is nuisance value and annoying. I guess I need to detach more for this to pass, and I think once she moves out and all her crap is gone, I can continue to move forward. Tough couple of days. STBX has been very angry in relation to kids. A couple of difficult conversations were had regarding her spending time with kids. She believes I will not allow her to see kids and will use them against her. A high degree of paranoia managed to allay her fears and seemed okay. She moves her stuff in 2 more days. The build-up to this move has made me feel anxious and worried. Not sure why, but I've been walking and keeping myself busy. I've accepted it's over, but dealing with and accepting uncertainty for the future is what I need to somehow manage now. There will be a degree of uncertainty for about 6 months. Worst couple of days for a while, probably because of increased contact around the move. I addressed that with STBX and she said contact was only about the move and she would return to email contact once she moved. I'll set some more defined boundaries if it occurs after the move. She moved all her stuff out yesterday, planned for it, and filled most of the spaces with new bits and pieces. Kids helped. They saw it as adventure, as did I. I spent the night at my brother's the night before, which was helpful, and he came over and helped us set up. I've started looking at what triggers my anxiety and have started planning and expecting it, which in some ways prepares me for it. STBX sent me a text during her move basically saying that I have found someone else and have moved on. Not sure what distorted thinking she was having. She said that if I didn't want this and don't want this, then it matters. I was a little confused but curious. In short, during the move she found a bedroom toy unopened in a garage which I purchased 6 months earlier for her and had forgotten about it. Still in box, sealed, etc. I didn't justify it. She ended with, "Doesn't matter, I don't care, it's your life." Anyway, I thought, well, yes, you're right. I just did engage her distorted thinking. Although it did throw me, I wondered if in some way she was treating me as plan B and hoping I would wait for her. Then I established that I was distorted in my thinking, so just let it go. My therapist has stated that she will not accept any responsibility for this breakup, and that is in essence her problem. She's jealous that I am not begging, waiting, contacting unnecessarily, and in general getting on with life. Therapist also said her anger with me is white hot, yet her decision to end it stipulates that she is not in a position to express it to me. Also, I am not buying into it. She said she will in essence find pieces of your interaction to justify her decision. For example, he's got a bedroom toy for someone else and he has already moved on. This doesn't make it any easier, but now she moved, I'll be hoping she minimizes her contact and her acting out. I do stand my ground, but she can be very abrasive. She often masks her conversation and messages with a thinly lined veiled anger. I see it and try not to let it worry me, although it is tough. I have thought that part of her behavior is gaslighting, finding blame to justify her decision. Not sure. I'm just really surprised she's even concerned with me moving on. I told her that my focus is me and becoming a better man, and the last thing at this stage I'm looking for is to dive into another relationship. Just an update: things have been good, attaching and disengaging with STBX. There has been less contact from her for unnecessary things, and I think I have truly processed that I no longer want her back, that I would be better off without her. Since becoming more assertive with her and more decisive and not being a doormat anymore, I seem to hear the words that I am dictating to her. This is my gauge that I am on track. Interactions are difficult and I pick my battles with her, but she no longer runs my life. Adjusting isn't easy to being single is not the easiest thing, but is getting easier. I'm trying to be as practical as possible and not focus on the future too much. I also want to be single for a while yet. I have had a few ladies ask me out casually, and I do have a physical need to fulfill. I am an honest guy, but is it okay if I'm upfront with ladies about my need to be alone for a while, but being happy to have some fun? Dinner was nice, adult conversation was enjoyable. My older female friend posted something on social media about being there without me knowing, the day and age we live in, but not for me. Realized that whilst an opportunity was handed to me with a lovely lady, I found myself being somewhat selfish and not wanting to go there. I'm not ready at all and felt very little emotionally towards her. Normal, I guess. I have IC in a week, so need to work through balancing boundaries around children and contact against not causing WWII during this stage of progressing financial settlement. She often takes any withdrawal or boundary setting with the children as me trying to push her out of their lives. It seems to be a balancing act, so I am working hard on final settlement, which in all reality could take up to 4 months. My feeling is she is cake eating big time. She left me in marriage but wants to stay in the picture. The other thing I am finding is that whilst I realize it's over, that when I see her or have contact with her, it triggers a level of anxiety in me the following day or even the previous day to known contact happening. I hold no hope at all for her. I no longer wanted her. I guess I just have to ride this storm of settlement out by setting the most appropriate boundaries I can, and then once settlement is complete and my kids are in a financially secure position, I can then start enforcing stricter boundaries. In relation to the kids, they do like spending time with her, but in essence the distance between her and them is evident, as she hasn't lived here in over 4 months now. I guess in time that bond will slowly dwindle with a little help from me. I'm being selfish. I don't want her in the kids' lives long term anymore. In the short to medium term, I am okay, as it is helpful for the kids to assist them in detaching from her. Whatever happens, she will be gone to me once I'm protected legally. Thanks for the links, will help me pass the time and learn a great deal. My kids are already distancing themselves. I'm disengaging as much as possible now. I've been having a little anxiety, but I'm managing a lot better at the moment. Her tears mean nothing to me anymore. I wasn't angry, but that is okay. I use it to help me. She is a manipulative piece of crap. As my trusted friend said, "You've dodged a bullet, my boy, with this one." That said, I have learned a lot and am continuing to learn more about myself and what I need. Final update: pretty much completely detached and moved on. Settlement progressing well. Will be done soon. Kids doing great. The work I have done on myself seems to have had a very positive effect on my level of attraction to the opposite gender. It is actually incredible how a self-assured man seems to attract the opposite gender. I have been having some fun, but very proud of the fact that I have been extremely honest with the ladies, and that is also always well received. Life is better than it ever was, and I'm sure I might stumble, but boy, have I learned what I want in a relationship. I'm very introspective now and really can't believe I've come through this. I have been spending some time with a Norwegian girl who is educated and has a brain. She is also a model. She's so lucky to have found me, taking things slow and developing anything one day at a time. No certainty, just seeing where it goes using what I have learned and am learning. My comment: what a great one. OP detached from cheating ex and found a new girlfriend. That is a great ending in my books. Tell me what you think down below, subscribe, and check out the recent videos, because I have uploaded a lot recently.